Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. January 25, 2019, the Damascene Moment edition. First up, a story about a car wreck leading to a corruption investigation involving the French company Alstom. A Romanian government official was involved in a car accident, and that led to his being investigated for receiving bribes from Alstom. No word about the car, but obviously it was a very expensive car. Second up, an article from the New York Times where the South African president vowed to clean up graft in South Africa. He said that people have lost confidence in the African National Congress and that they had had their Damascus moment, or the Damascene moment, when the scales fell from their eyes and they saw the light. So it will be interesting to see if President Ramaphosa continues with this. If you have been doing business in South Africa with the prior regime under President Zuma, I can only ask you once again to scrub your operations, because things are only going to get worse before they get better in terms of investigations and corruption in South Africa. Next up, from the New York Times, Renault finally is planning to replace Carlos Ghosn after standing by him for nearly 2 months now. The French automaker is preparing to replace its longtime leader and turning its focus on securing the future of the world's auto alliance. Ghosn had offered to resign earlier, but the company had not accepted this resignation. Now they have turned up the pressure. The French government, rather, turned up pressure to cut ties with the disgraced former CEO. And finally, in the 1MDB case, we have an article from Bradley Hope and Tom Wright, who wrote the Big Whale book. They are reporters at the New York Times, reporters at the Washington Journal. Sorry, guys. And they write about one of the alleged 1MDB conspirators, Kadim al-Kabasi, who ran the UAE sovereign wealth fund that guaranteed the 1MDB bond sale that was handled by Goldman Sachs. He is held in jail currently for approving this. He claims that this was known within the government and the larger sovereign wealth fund. The government alleges that he received over $471 million in stolen money into his private accounts in Luxembourg and bought property with that literally across the world, including in the United States. It's just one more instance of the truly international scope of the 1MDB scandal. This one's going to be the big one, I think, for 2018, or at least one of the very big ones. So we'll continue to follow this story as well. This is Tom Fox. If you have any ideas for the Daily Compliance News, please feel free to email me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. I'd love to hear from you. This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist. As you may know, we've had several new offerings on the Compliance Podcast Network. One of those includes Popcorn and Compliance, where Jay Rosen and I take a look at compliance through the lens of movies, both current, contemporary movies, and classic movies. Also premiering in December. And finally, Mary Shirley and Lisa Fine have premiered their new podcast, Great Women on Compliance. I hope you will check that out. It's a great podcast series. We have several other offerings that we are in production and will go live after the first of the year on the Compliance Podcast Network.